welcome to this special broadcast here on News Mobile. Robin Hood Army. It originated in India, but it's now internationally known. Robin Hood Army has been feeding millions of people all over the world. They have now come up with a new initiative. The Robin Hood Army is helping millions of senior citizens now get vaccinated. In fact, volunteers are supporting the online registration on the COVID app, and they are also safely picking up the senior citizen and also bring them back home after the vaccination. Has been a noble effort by Robin Hood Army, and here on News Mobile, we are joined by Mr. Sanchit Jain, who is a co-founder of Robin Hood Army. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Sanchit.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
So, Mr. Jain, tell us about the new initiative of how, in fact, this initiative came about of what you're calling as Senior Patrol, and how does it really work?
So we got the idea of Senior Patrol last year when the COVID pandemic hit us and when we were under the first lockdown, and we realized that there were, so the whole idea is to help out the most vulnerable section of our society, which is our senior citizens. So we realized last year that there were a lot of senior citizens who, because of the lockdown or because of the risk of getting infected, would not be able to procure their basic necessities like food, medicine, groceries, etc. So last year, we started with what we called Senior Patrol 1, wherein any senior citizen living by himself or herself who needed help with such basic stuff like groceries, food, medicine, etc., could reach out to us for help. And so we are present in around 220 cities, and we have a pretty huge volunteer base, right? So the idea was that with this big volunteer base, we should be able to reach out to almost all parts of these cities. So any senior citizen who needed help with this stuff could reach out to us. One of our Robins would procure all of this and get this to the senior citizens while following all the safety protocols, obviously. Now this year, since March, what we've started is Senior Patrol 2, where the idea is to mobilize as many senior citizens to get vaccinated as possible. So it's the same concept. Any senior citizen living by himself or herself requests us for help. One of our Robins goes, picks them up, takes them to the vaccination center, waits with them for the required duration, and gets them back. And for this, we've also partnered with Uber. So Uber is providing us with free rides to do this across all of our chapters.
Mr. Jain, Robin Hood Army's journey has been, in fact, exemplary. It started off with feeding homeless people, feeding the underprivileged, and now Robin Hood Army is facing this new challenge with the rest of the world of helping senior citizens and also helping, the underprivileged during this time. How has this journey been, and how has it changed when the pandemic hit?
So I'll briefly introduce what the RHA is. We are basically a zero funds volunteer-based organization that collects excess food from restaurants and other food donors, and we give it to people who need it the most. Now, obviously, distribution of excess food is what we do best. It is what is our core competency. But the bigger idea of the RHA is to bring out the best of humanity by using food as a medium. How we are slightly different from other organizations which do this is that A, we are zero funds, so we do not accept any money. And we are a completely volunteer-based organization. So all of us are working professionals. We have our day jobs and we do this in our free time. I mean, we've been serving food since the pandemic began as well, but these are extra initiatives which we thought were the need of the hour. So this is what we started, and hopefully we've been able to help a lot of people.
Right. So how has this journey been now that the pandemic has, hit the entire world? So from feeding homeless people, how have you really expanded to help the underprivileged when the pandemic...
The serving of food has been going on since the pandemic started. As last year, we had this campaign called Mission 30 Million, wherein over a period of 45 days, we tried to serve 30 million meals across all of our chapters. We fell a little short, but from the 1st of July to the 15th of August, we were able to serve around 23 million meals across all of our cities. And even since then, we have been having food drives. We are serving to all of the clusters that we used to serve before. and we've gotten a lot of calls and requests from other areas as well, where people have not been able to get food because of various reasons. Either there's a lot, so they've not been able to get food, or there are people who've lost their jobs, so they've not been able to get food. So we've been serving in those areas. In some of our cities, we've even, like during the lockdown periods, we've collaborated with the local authorities to get that done. In some of our cities, we are even serving food to COVID affected families, wherein the whole family is COVID positive. So all of them are quarantined. So obviously, it's very difficult to get food. So we've been serving food in those areas. So yeah, currently we are serving around 400 to 500,000 meals per week.
Oh, so that's great.
Part of it, and like there have been other initiatives like Senior Patrol.
And also, would you like to share some heartwarming experiences that your volunteers had witnessed in the pandemic?
I mean, there are loads of them. It will be difficult to point out probably one, but yeah, a lot of stories where people have not had food for 4 days, 5 days, and we've been able to help them. During the second wave, there were a lot of stories where people reached out to us for where they were not able to get oxygen, and we were able to help them. There were stories where people were not able to get hospital beds, and we were able to help them. Or there were instances where people were looking for plasma donations, and our volunteers were able to help them. And people told us that like it was a big deal for them, obviously, because that was their last resort. So lots and lots of stories where our volunteers have come across instances where people were in need of help, and we were able to help them.
That's great. That's great. How does a person become a Robin in their community? Of course, one is joining the Robin Hood Army. You can tell how.
So we have a WhatsApp number which you can drop a text to, and there's an automatic chatbot that will guide you through the next steps. So if you are looking to join us as a volunteer, or you're looking to donate food, or you want to make a request for Senior Patrol, you drop a WhatsApp text onto that number, and there's an automated chatbot that will help you out. Otherwise, you can register with us on our website, which is robinhoodarmy.com.
Any tips for a common person to help out in the community?
I think join us. That would be the best way to help out.
Absolutely.
No, I mean, in these difficult times, just help out anybody you can in whatever way you can. I think everybody's going through a very, very tough time. So just keep that in mind, and keep like in whatever way you can, just try to help out everyone around you.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchit, with your experiences and sharing with us the great work that Robin Hood Army is doing here on NewsMobile.
Thank you for having me.